Okay, bro, we're on the air.
You're on the air.
First of all, Hans, congratulations. It is release day. Our podcast.
It is release day for the A building.
The A building comes out today. It is available on all your major platforms: iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Before we get started, Hans, I think I need to make my transition to video podcast, Mumba.
Oh, let's go ahead and do it.
A lot of people really enjoyed this bit. Hold on.
Oh, shit. Where'd he go?
There it is.
Oh, shit. Where did he go?
Yep. It's very uncomfortable wearing sunglasses inside. Like, I really got to decide how long I'm going to commit to this. As a bit.
You could just.
Am I going to make this my bit?
You could just take care of your hair. Like, that's a lot easier.
What's that going to do? Like, what's it got to do with
you're putting
sunglasses?
I'm saying you're trying to do like a visual persona. I was like, just the cool thing about if you just take care of your hair, you get to keep it 24/7. You know what I mean? Like,
my hair's fine. I got headphones on.
Get it braided. You used to wear your hair, but the first time I met you, your hair was braided.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You used to keep a cornrow. You were one of the first intellectual niggas I met that was like corn rolled up. I was like, oh, this nigga, something else.
Yeah, I like that.
That helped you meet a lot of women more.
Listen, that was a way for, like, as a guy that was not from DC, that was actually a great way to meet women. Yeah,
it really is.
My hair, but then I messed that up.
I want you to braid.
I messed everything up, man. I did every foolish bachelor thing you could do.
You were 20-something.
You know what I mean? And Hans,
at the Mecca.
And Hans, this is how much of a jackass Hans is. Hans always, there's a great bit in The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Marky Mark, where Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg goes to his house and he meets his wife, Eva Mendes, right? And he doesn't believe that that's his wife. He's like, who is that? He goes, it's the old ball and chain. And it's a gag the whole movie. Like, is that really your wife?
Yeah. It's such a funny bit because she's also adoring. Yeah. She fawns over him.
She fawns over him and he acts like, he doesn't really care. And then that's hilarious because then you get like a backstory. Yeah. He was like a pimp in college.
Yeah.
Named Gator. Hans come to the crib one day. And I was dating this model. Okay. She was like a 6-foot model. Hans come to the crib and she was there. And she was like leaving as Hans was coming. And Hans was like, who the hell was that? I was like, it was a girl I'm dating. And she goes, no, you just said, like, no, seriously, who was that? Like I was joking or something? Like it was a friend of mine or a cousin of mine? Because you can't imagine that I'm dating an attractive woman? I'm getting pissed off now thinking about this, actually.
Look, I hate to tell you, it's not just me.
I'm sure there are people when they meet my wife, they go, hold on, this is your wife?
I was having a conversation. There's somebody who's watching the podcast right now. I was having lunch with.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, man, like that. And she was like, really? Like he gets? I was like, oh. This pre-marriage roster is premium.
Look, man.
She was like, I just can't see it. I was like, look. I was like, this is not hearsay. I was like, I've witnessed it multiple times. So I can testify before the court. I can authenticate all suspicions.
My favorite is when I would tell Hans I broke up with somebody or somebody wasn't around anymore. And you were like, what? Like, basically, like, how could you let her go? Like, what is it?
And you would drop women for like dumb shit. You know what? Yeah. You know what? You left the toilet seat down. We're done. My house toilet seat says when you leave, put the toilet seat up. We're done. But no, we're done. We're done. Don't call me no more. I won't see you no more.
Wasn't that frivolous, but you know.
Thank God. None of those people knew that we were friends. Because they would try to, like, hey, you know, I'm trying to get to Menelik. He's not answering my calls. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of thing. Like, thank God.
Yeah. Really,
oh, my gosh.
Howard was like that. Yeah. It was an interesting place. You know, but look, man, here's the thing. And this, I don't want to, you know, pontificate about this too much, but here's what I'll say. Here's why marriage was perfect for Lumumba. You ready? Because here's why marriage was perfect for Lumumba. Because there gets to a point. What's an animal I can use as an analogy? Like a wild horse. Okay. There comes a time where a wild horse wants to just, you know,
settle down.
I don't know anything about horses. I don't know.
Since you missed your basic science class, a better analogy would have been a young lion.
Yeah,
ready to
that's right.
settle down in some territory.
That's
and
better.
Ready to like settle some roots. And
there actually is like a cultivation, and like lions are like reared almost in a similar way that humans are. Like
they're very
prepared, and then it's like, yeah, you're gonna have your own pride one day, and you know what I'm saying.
Besides killing your father thing and killing all the baby lions that you come across so that you get the female lions and eat. Besides
listen, you do what you got to do. What, humans don't do that either? Somebody kidnapped Savannah Guthrie's mother, for God's sake. Okay, this is the hottest. I've been obsessed with this story.
This is the hottest story out right now. Somebody thought in 2026 that kidnapping is a way of getting a bag. It's a strange way of thinking of blackmailing somebody. That kidnapping for a ransom is something. And man, like kidnapping somebody with so many heart conditions. If you're gonna kidnap somebody like that,
hey man, what's the movie with Denzel?
You there?
What's the movie with Denzel? Man on Fire. Mexico, they kidnap kids. You know, healthy children.
Yeah,
you can't be kidnapping old ladies, man. Like, what
you can't be? You can't be kidnapping somebody with a heart condition and not grab their medication.
Somebody needs to take what? You ever seen? You know, you got older parents. I got older relatives. The pill cases you got to put in a backpack.
Look, man, you can throw them in the back of a car. You just be like, Leo, where's your pill? You got any pills? All right, tell me where they are. I'll go get the pills. Grab the pills. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they're comfortable. Yeah, you gotta make sure they're comfortable. You gotta go get a nice place. Like, look, I'm gonna lock you in this room, but there's a bathroom. It's fully stocked. What do you want to eat? You can't lock them in a fucking cellar and treat them like trash. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put them in a nice place so they're comfortable.
What a crazy story, man. And I guess
it's the craziest story in the world.
But I guess they disabled
her heart, the thing.
No, I'm talking about the security. There's no security There's no security footage.
Yeah, but she has a pacemaker, and they would be able to track her through that, but somehow they turned it off or something. They think they disabled the tracking. It's not looking good.
That's sad, man.
It's terrible. It's terrible to lose your parent.
Yeah, terrible way to lose your parent. Yeah, like that's just.
And now it's weird. Like this woman, like was it like somewhere in Arizona? Like she got kidnapped.
2 hours from here, bro. In Tucson.
Yeah, but they increased security at like ABC headquarters. Like, nigga, that doesn't even make any sense. They were saying that. I was like,
yeah, that wasn't
obviously the they're not coming for you guys. They went for a soft target.
For a soft target. Yeah.
What do you like? If people are so self-centered, oh my gosh, I feel unsafe. You feel unsafe?
No, they took advantage of an old lady.
I'm in Vegas right now. Like it's pretty sparse out here. Like I could see if somebody's living, you track somebody down.
They got a rich. They got a rich kid that'll probably pay up.
Yeah, but man, like, I mean, kidnapping is just, come on. Like, kidnapping is only good in certain environments. It's not, most of the time, it's just a dumb crime.
Yeah, but Hans, man, the country is the republic. It's a going out of business sale. You know,
it's a fire sale right now, isn't it?
It's a fire sale. Like, Hans, you see your boy Trump?
You see what he posted?
I gotta find that. See if I can find
it. He went full MAGA today.
And I was like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Hans, what is he on? Like, I feel like this last dump of the Epstein files
fucked him up.
Yeah, it fucked him up. It's more...
Did you see the rumors that people found Epstein in Israel? Did you see that?
That he's actually alive? I've seen.
There's one across the wire today.
Well, Hans, I went deep into right-wing conspiracies yesterday, and that apparently, so I don't know how much you followed Erica Kirk's behavior since Charlie's death, where she's essentially been acting like, I don't know, a WWE promoter.
A free woman, for sure.
Yeah, not at all acting like a grieving widow. You know what I mean? Again, I've tried not to judge.
Those right-wingers, they went hard. You should feel bad. How dare you say all these things? And boy, they're egg on the... Boy, this woman didn't even give them a few months to look good. Well, and so there's a rumor that she's pregnant now?
Well, there's a rumor she's pregnant, but here's the other one, Hans. Apparently, 4 or 5 months before he was assassinated, Charlie had taken her out of the will and left all of his estate to the kids, and that's one reason why she's, I don't think she's like involved in the murder, right? But that's one reason why she doesn't particularly care about his death, which is wild, which kind of tracks, because you've been around grieving people, like, and because I've tried not to judge the grief, because I have grieved, and it's different for everybody, but there's no sign of grief.
You were please do not pretend you were a model of like, hey, I'm just tough on the inside. Oh no, you were, Jesus Christ. I would talk to men like every day, but around, I don't know if it's around your mother's birthday or the anniversary of her death.
Yeah.
2 days before and 2 days after. So it was like a big chunk of window. Couldn't get to you. Couldn't.
Radio silence.
Silence. Like 2 days before and 2 days after. It's like this bubble that you were just gone, and you pop up like nothing happened.
Yeah. Here's where I knew I had a problem. So, like, the year after she passed away, I stayed in my house, my childhood home, which probably was a tactical error. I was just alone in the house, and I was doing way too much drinking, right? And I would go to this little boutique liquor store in Lowry, the little neighborhood, and I would get a Macallan 12. Right, which is a very, very high-end single malt scotch. Hans, that should last you weeks. Okay, like it's not like I wouldn't call it a daily drinker by any means. Right? It's a very intense.
Yeah, you can clean fuel injectors with that shit.
Exactly. You can clean plane engines with that shit, right? You sip it after dinner with a cigar. It's what the motherfuckers drank as the Titanic was crashing. You know what I mean?
You sip it. Keyword. Sip.
And I was going through it, I don't know, a bottle every couple of days, right? So one day I go in there, and it's the same guy that owned it. I go in there, and he says to me, "How long is this one gonna last?" And I was like, "Well," I got so offended. I was like, "Motherfucker, you tracking? What are you? My sponsor?" No, Hans. Instead of that being a wake up call, I just started to go to another place.
Yeah, you went someplace else. You're like, fuck him.
But shout out to Liz. Who broke me out of it was my dear sister Liz, who got really, really concerned for me. And she used to demand that I come over to her and Jared's house every Wednesday to watch fucking Glee. And I couldn't miss a day or she'd freak out. So that whole year I watched Glee. And that's how I stopped drinking. I started drinking anymore.
Can't go watch Glee drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Because I said, Liz, I'm not gonna. I don't want to watch Glee. She was like, yeah, but I'd like to. I'm worried about you, so come over and watch Glee. Okay, I didn't have the energy to fight it.
Yeah.
Because at that point, that was really some of the only human interaction I was having. In person. I was talking to you. I was talking to my wife, then fiance at the time, but she was still living in LA. So yeah, it was just grief is a motherfucker, man. So I've tried not to judge it, but this whole thing. So that now you have with the Epstein drop so they dropped 3 million more, and I don't even know the percentage. I think there's still about half of what's out there. I didn't see the whole number.
Jesus Christ.
But it's not everything, right? So there's more, which is wild, right? But it's clear that he and Epstein were very, very good friends, and they got together with young girls to assault them, right? Like period. Like you can't. That's undeniable. Right?
It's undeniable.
And also you get this weird, all of the weird, connections and people. And did you see the story with Bill Gates? And that he was essentially trying to dose his wife with antibiotics because he'd gotten I don't know, what do you treat, syphilis or something? He had an STD and he was trying to secretly.
That's the craziest fucking story.
And I was like, well, excuse me, what? And then you realize, then you think about how ugly their divorce was. What did she get? 4 billion or something crazy?
Yeah, she got the majority.
And she got most of it.
Probably,
right?
probably just so that specific story doesn't come out.
Didn't get out. Exactly.
Because
you looked at it and you were like, that's weird. Why wasn't it a 50-50 split?
He's so sanctimonious now. He's been so sanctimonious. Look, man, technology's a good thing, and I built this and I did that. And there was this Indian academic.
Destroyed. He's Frankenstein. It got destroyed by his own monster.
Yeah, but this Indian scholar who's kind of critiques the way technology has changed the way people live and for the worse has been Bill Gates didn't build shit. He copied everything and he exploited everything, and governments have had to force Microsoft to not have these antitrust behavior, have these because of their antitrust behaviors. And so for this, and now he's trying to move into the what you call it space, what do you call that when you a philanthropy space. And this is that's it. It's over. Nobody wants to talk to fucking Bill Gates anymore. Nobody wants his money. You're done, sir. Stop fucking talking. Because here's what's crazy about him. It's not like he was a rock star who's doing some bullshit. He's a fucking nerd. He's got the worst, got the personality of a dandelion. You know what I'm saying?
That was clearly half of his thing. That's why he was out there just wilding out. What happens? You give a nerd, $1 billion.
Yeah, but kids, kids. I don't get it. That's man, somebody was saying the reason that billionaires are into this is they can get everything. But okay, are you fucking octopus? What? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't this make you feed deeper into all the conspiracies behind Eyes Wide Shut and Stanley Kubrick's death? And what was the real? Is that the real cut that he wanted? And how much did they change? And did he really die? You know what I'm saying? It's when you look at the
I believe he died. Did he?
Was he? Did he get taken out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that Epstein died. I don't think. I thought maybe they just killed him. Now I'm no, they probably didn't kill him. I think where are the how man in the history of that New York City jail, the video cameras have never gone out. You know what I'm saying? They have videotapes of everything. Some of it's horrific, but it's on tape.
That technology is matured. That's a mature, what they call
it's
a mature.
It's not 1980s.
Yeah.
It has redundancies. It's what are we it has redundancies for that specific reason.
Yeah, in case this comes out, here this happens, right? It's just when the power goes out in the building, well, there's a backup plan.
There's literally a backup that you can't really turn off unless you like physically cut something. So the idea that, guards just happen not to be there and there's no repercussions for that, or we don't happen to have tape. It's like, yeah, this like now I believe, because I did think they killed him because it would make sense, like just get this thing out. But like now I believe like, he's alive. And here's what's interesting. I feel like if he is alive, and Trump sees that his fortunes are going downhill because all these files are released, and Trump knows he's alive, won't Trump just say, you know what, fuck it, he's alive and he's over there? He's so selfish. You know what I'm saying? I don't see, like, and it's obvious that this Epstein thing is eating Trump alive. And the interesting thing is the hardcore 2024 release the Epstein MAGA side of it. Not the Trump can do anything MAGA, but the Trump is going to save us and protect us MAGA, release the Epstein. That faction, especially when they're online, men are like, they're going for blood.
Yeah.
They've completely abandoned him. And it's affecting you can't leave the administration because there's no place to go. You can't go into mainstream media, but you can't really go into independent media because these guys are going to go after you. Yeah, these guys are going to go after you if you go into independent media because they're super angry. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Obama's not in the Epstein files. That pisses Trump off.
Yeah.
It makes him so mad he's nowhere near it. You know? So, and MAGA tried to release a headline that Jon Stewart was in the Epstein files. And it was because Elon Musk had mentioned, he's like, you need to change your image and you need to use somebody, like you need to get a comic like Jon Stewart. It wasn't Jon
Stewart,
he wasn't in the Epstein files. He just somebody mentioned his name. But anyway, it's the thing that's I think that's gonna. This is what's gonna either cause him to have a heart attack. It certainly has destroyed it's amazing. The Republicans have literally destroyed their brand to the point. Did you see all these special elections that they're losing?
Oh yeah, it's wild in deep red states.
They're like
deep red districts.
Let's go back in 2024. I told you I thought, yeah, this shit is crazy. Like what the he just and again, it's red meat. It's an attempt at red meat to his base. You know what I'm saying? It's an attempt at throwing something in his base, but it's so obvious that it would be better if somebody in administration had done that, let alone him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This is the president of the United States.
It's just at this point, he's just doing it to himself. At this point, it's not even going to get the reaction he wants because maybe he just wants the media to just jump on that. It's not even going to get that.
Yeah,
it's not even going to get that.
There's a part of him that is a carny. You know what I mean? So
yes,
it's like the more noise you can make, the better. So
well, did you see him at the ABC interview where he was complaining about the bad publicity advice? Like, I don't get credit for this, and this was bad, so we're going to try to change it because the publicity. Like, it's just he really is just a guy who obsesses about his image and publicity.
How this look? How is this?
Yeah, it's none of it is actual policy. The policy is coming from the Stephen Millers and other people, but like, I can imagine. This is how crazy Trump is. If you, I can imagine a world if you surrounded him with other people, like you surrounded him like a bunch of lefties, and you told them the lefties will adore you if you do these things. Like black people worship you if you do these things. Lefties will adore you. Gays, lesbians, Latinos will adore you if you do these things. I can imagine he would just do it. You know what I mean? As long as you thanked him for doing it, he would just do it.
Killer Mike made a good point about that. He talked about that he sees guys. He saw his grandfather work with guys like Trump, and he goes, "He's a deal cutter. He just wants the deal." You see
Just
what I'm
wants a
saying?
deal.
Like at the end of the day, like, is there a deal to be
There's
made?
no
Make a deal. There's no humanity there. You see what I'm saying?
But there's also no principle.
Yeah, there's no principle. Yeah,
like
what's
there's
the
some
deal?
hardcore racists who are like, I'd rather die and I'll kill myself than
Hans, if these
acknowledge you.
Think about it, Hans. If these black MAGA niggas didn't hate themselves as much as they do, like this, like a nigga like Trump could get reparations through. Like if the black MAGAs were like, look, we want reparations. He'd cut a deal. He'd listen.
Man, he'd be like, yeah, like what is it? And here's the crazy thing, and this is the irony. We'd all shut the fuck up.
Right, okay,
we'd all be like, fuck, God damn it, all right, we're out. Hey guys, coalition, we're out. We're out.
Look, $50 million. We're gonna give $1 million to every black person. All right, what else? Man, but these black MAGAs, they hate themselves.
Man, that's how the first term he gave the HBC. Because somebody's like, look, give him money and these kids will shut the fuck up. Yep. He just cut a deal. Like, he didn't give a fuck. And the irony is he pissed off people like Stephen Miller. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We have a principle. We have a thing that we're trying to accomplish. Yeah, and so what they did was they did a better job of surrounding him with these voices. And you could start to see the regret. Okay, I shouldn't have listened to them. I could have shut the border down. I could have deported some people, but I listened to these fucking crazies who said, no, ramp it up. And now I'm a fucking disaster. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell he's angry about that. And he's grasping at straws to try to fix it, to try to change it. And nothing's working. So I think eventually he's going to start dumping weight. He's going to do like he did. He's going to do like he did. What's his name? What's the crazy white guy with the bad skin that was in his first administration? What's that guy's name?
Bannon.
He's going to do like he did Bannon. Remember he dropped Bannon because the policies weren't working? I think Stephen Miller is very close. I mean, you saw what he did to Elon, right? Once Doge became unpopular, bye. Just dumped him. And you never talk about Doge, never talk about anything. You know, it doesn't exist.
Talking all that shit about the Epstein files, and he was. I didn't been on the plane. He was trying to get a helicopter. Forgot a plane.
All up in it. Elon is so weird. The weirdos wouldn't let him in their club. Like Elon is that weird. He makes people so uncomfortable.
I gotta send you this video. So you know, like Joe Rogan, kind of the headquarters of the conspiracy theory podcast, right? So with this latest dump on the files, essentially there's a whole subreddit on Joe Rogan's subreddit that is now like the Jeff, what is his name? The Epstein experience, basically. Because like in the last couple of years, between Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, all these tech fucks who've been on the show to essentially kind of Rogan has been used to essentially normalize the evil that they want to convey, you know, and Rogan's so dumb. And he's excited.
So fucking stupid.
He's just excited to get access to these people. You know what I'm saying? What they're doing. And all of these, the names of people that have been on the show since the election who are now in the files. It's unbelievable. These same tech fucks who have been trying to clean their image.
Joe is still popular. But his podcast is slowly slipping.
Dipping.
It's slowly dipping.
Because it's too close. You can't, again, listen, a deal like that, a $250 million deal comes with a lot of strings, you know. And the reason why whenever I hear people get upset about anything Joe Rogan says, because I just remember the beginning of it. When just ate motherfuckers. The
Yeah.
first 2 years of the Joe Rogan Experience was motherfuckers high talking about the moon
Yeah.
landing.
Yeah,
Like that
that's
really was
all.
it. But that was the
Yeah.
he would invite they would,
Yeah.
after the
You,
Comedy Store, they would go get high and talk about how
yeah,
the
and they
moon
would.
landing is not
People who
real.
were tuning in are people who were also high, had nothing, didn't
Yes,
have to go to work in the
exactly.
morning. It was just something that they have in the background.
It was this weird
You know.
piece of the internet, and then they just kind
Yeah.
of slowly grew and grew and grew. And
Well, if he falls off, though, I think he emotionally is going to fall off a cliff. I don't think
I
he can handle it.
too. Yeah,
I don't think he can handle it because
invested in this.
he really is
the straight talker.
Yeah,
I'm not a part of the mainstream.
Oh man!
And now you're literally
and you can sort of see the crack. You've been seeing some of the crack. Yeah, he's slowly, because you know what's funny is I've seen some of his stand-up. He is not funny, man.
He's not a great comedian. No, I've never found him funny. Never found him funny.
Terrible comic.
I think Rogan is a gifted broadcaster. I think what he does in that show is great. But I think he's also a very underrated broadcaster with the MMA shit. Right? I feel nobody talks about that.
He should be in the Hall of Fame for that. But I think he helped MMA become mainstream with his broadcast.
The reason he's good at it is because if you are listening to a Rogan broadcast and you know nothing about MMA, he explains it enough to where you can follow.
You to understand. Yeah, you can
but
follow.
But if you are a MMA head, he gives you all the inside
stuff. Yeah.
So that's
so it's a broad audience.
Yeah,
it's a broad audience in a fast-moving match. In a fast-moving match.
That's incredibly fast. It's not like football. Where it stops every play and you have time to talk and it's where at any given moment somebody's head can get cracked. And what's going on?
Anything could happen. A choke could happen. Some kind of submission could happen. But, you know what I'm saying?
Hans, I think you've seen this in your work below the line and just probably in academia, just being around people, I guess. I think what happens sometimes to people when they get really successful is they start, and this is probably a big part of what Trump is too. He's just a rich kid that is actually convinced
that he earned it.
That he earned it, right? So it's like I talk to all these smart people, so I'm really smart.
I must be smart. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Which is ironic. Let me tell you a funny story to circle back to our, and I think Dr. Davis will appreciate this, to our podcast. So this summer I got to see, I'll tell eventually on the podcast, I'll talk about, what happened to my son this summer. So my son had a huge accident this summer. I haven't really talked about it publicly, but I'll eventually talk about it publicly. But he was at an internship in Atlanta. And he was staying on Morehouse's campus, and when he had his accident, I had to clear his dorm out. So since I was down there, I went and saw Dr. Davis. They were still working on the A building, and I go to Dr. Davis' office, and he invites another professor from Clark. They both have their doctorates, and man, they're talking. We talk about these books. It's, you know how you've been around your mom as academics. There's like a whole you call it the academic subreddit. There's all this gossip and it's intellectual gossip and intellectual, and it's about ideas and man, like I'm sitting there and I was like, oh shit, I am not this smart.
Whatever these niggas are doing, I can't do it. Yeah.
And like for the first time, I was like, look, call me Professor Hans in quotes. Like it's in quotes, nigga.
An honorary title.
Because I am not these niggas smart. When I tell you, and it's not like I can't get there. Like, give me a year or two of reading. I thought like it's 2-3 solid years, and I keep up with some of the conversation. But man, I was just like, yeah, I'm not here. And Dr. Davis, he started including me in the conversation. Have you read this book? Nigga, I'm not reading this shit. I watch movies. I'm not reading these fucking books. I'm not reading your colleagues. Oh yeah, his third book about.
Yeah, and you guys seen Pulp Fiction? What do you think of the Bonnie situation? Huh? That's a pretty good one. Right?
You know what I'm saying? Let's analyze the beats on that, guys. Like I've got something to say about that.
What do you think about Mr. Wolf as a character?
And it's so funny that has sat with me so long. But I'm just like, look, just don't ever forget that you're smart, man. You're smart. You ain't with these niggas. If you have to have a conversation with these niggas, you better go spend like 3-4 months reading. And you're going to be behind, but at least you won't be at the bottom.
But Hans, that's why, like, the more I kind of explore and examine, like, what these tech fucks, and I've been on this for a long time. When
You've been on it, you were the first. You were the first
from the beginning. I was like,
you were from the beginning. You were from the beginning. No, you resisted the phones.
Yes,
you resisted the updated laptops.
Like,
you understood how to use the social media, but you truly, like, conceptually, like, here's a better way of putting it. Because you even tied it to politics. You were the first one to criticize the Democratic Party for going down the line with the tech bros.
I did.
Because remember, the Democrats are like, oh, look, we got tech. The GOP has finance, right? They have traditional business, but we got tech. We're cool.
Yeah.
And they used it. They used it. We're cooler than you.
Yeah.
You know, Obama switched from the BlackBerry to the iPhone. That was like a thumbs up sign. You know what I'm saying?
They never saw the difference in those guys. Yeah.
You never saw the difference. Yeah.
So what?
And you said we should have kept them in the fucking lockers. You're like, these dudes deserve. We weren't being mean when we were mean to them in high school. Like you, because I used to criticize you for that. Like, come on, man. But you were like, nah. And you know what, man? Like, you were fucking right.
This is a generation.
The reason they were socially awkward is because they were assholes. It wasn't because they didn't get a chance.
No.
They were assholes, and they've proven themselves.
To do harm.
They wanted to do harm.
Yeah.
The Incredibles the Incredibles 2 is on that team. Like, the Incredibles 2, because that kid.
The first one. Yeah.
Was it the first one or the second one? The first one.
The first film. Yeah. The guy who didn't have any skills.
He didn't have any powers. Yeah. He didn't have any superpowers.
But he knew gadgets.
He knew that's the tech bros.
He could turn himself
into a
superhero with technology.
Man, like, that's the tech bros. That's the tech bros,
right?
Because they don't have the moral clarity. Tech bros don't have the moral clarity. They're missing that gene. They hate humanity. Mark Zuckerberg hates people.
Yeah.
Like, it's so obvious. He can't stand people. So, of course, like, if you're like, hey, man, like, Nazis are attacking me. Like, can you do something on the platform? Man, we can't do anything. Like, oh, man, I'm sorry. Free speech. We can't do anything. But say something about Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, and then you're flagged out immediately. You're taken. Say something, criticize technology, and you're flagged immediately. And doesn't even pretend that he's even keel across the board anymore. He doesn't even pretend. So, yeah, you've always been on that tip. So I can't take that away from you at all.
This clip from Peter Thiel. Hold on, let me show it to you. This is one of my favorites. This is a guy that's all over the Epstein files, by the way.
I suffered through Ross Douthat's interview with Peter Thiel because I'm a sick person. And there's one clip that's been going around. And in case you guys haven't had this, just the experience of being able to listen to this moment, I want to share it with all of you.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yeah.
Mamba. He manages
the largest surveillance company in the world.
Palantir.
Yeah, that's good.
Palantir.
That's who you want to have in charge of the largest.
Here's the irony. In the last 5 days, Palantir stock has dropped 25%. He lost billions of dollars in the last.
So think about it, guys with that mentality. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, they all have similar versions of that. So when you look at the proliferation of AI and kind of what it does, right? where it's like, hey, we don't need intellectuals anymore. We can just kind of suck the energy from their brains and put it in this machine, and then you use the machine. You're creating, like, forget about the weirdness of that, right? But it's a way to, okay, let's make sure there's no more experts anymore, right?
That's one. Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Let's make sure there's
one.
no one kind of, because what do the humanities and social sciences do?
Yeah, they create experts.
They wrestle with humanity and what it means to live and die, right?
Yeah.
What the metaphysicists did, right? What somebody like Nietzsche did, what a Fanon did, what an Aristotle did, right? What a W.E.B. Du Bois did, like his work in sociology, right? If you render that as an academic unnecessary, we'll let a computer handle that. Okay, now you're creating an entire group of people that don't actually question their place in the world.
In any way, shape, or form.
In any way, shape, or form. Their whole entire reason to live is to serve a system.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, what system? And I look at all the propaganda they're telling young people now. Look, your 25% of jobs are going to be gone, and this job is going to be gone, and this job is going to be gone. So find a system to work. Hey, find a trade job or find this. And there's nothing wrong with that. And quite frankly, I agree with that. I think that looking at college as the only option is something that I think is a problem. The flip side of that, though, if a tech guy is telling you that, is because he doesn't want you to be a part of his class. Guess what? His kids aren't going to trade school.
No.
His kids are going to Harvard. And
his kids are absolutely going to Harvard. Even if they haven't earned the right to go, they're still going. He's going to buy their way in.
Right. Like what are the ruling?
The irony is two things.
Where do they go to school? What do they do? The governors, the senators.
On a macro level, the irony is interesting. These are the guys who strengthened copyright laws in the late 90s and early aughts. And now they're saying that copyright doesn't matter because they want to get around copyright, which is the irony of this is, like, if you just enforce copyright law, all AI is in trouble. Because now you got to pay me for my image, you got to pay me for my stuff. And if you say, like, look, you can't trade copyright for service, which is what they're trying to do now. Hey, you want to use this app? Give up your copyrights, right? And so you just say, like, no, we're not going to allow that. We're going to allow, if you use somebody's image, we're going to allow them to sue you into oblivion. We're going to allow them to drag you into court, whatever. And then the thing about the college that I find interesting is conservatives for the last 30 years have been trying to strip away, and have been forcing schools to move away from the humanities, Menelik.
Oh, yeah.
To move away from the humanities. Kids are leaving college, Menelik, barely having read Chaucer's Tale.
Hans, kids can't, like, read anymore. They can't read books.
Man, at the college level.
Read, bro. Hans, you saw that study where students are having trouble looking at movies in film schools. Like they can't sit through a movie. They're short circuited because the infinite scroll is all they understand.
So the irony, I think, because being in an academic institution, I could see internally. A lot of colleges aren't talking about this, but we have for the next 10 years, we're going to have a demographic crisis. So we had for the last 10 or 15 years, we had an influx of kids going to college. There's just so many kids that age. It was a little, around 9/11, there was a little bit of a baby boom. Now there's a drop. So now colleges, because of policy, have relied on tuition as the main means of making money. And so they've super sectioned off what kids can learn and moved away from the humanities, moved away. You're not spending this time doing art. You're not spending this time, doing philosophy. Howard tried to get rid of the philosophy department a couple of years ago. There's so many things that you're not spending a lot of classes in history. I remember I had in college, I had 4 or 5 classes in history, all kinds of world history, 2 semesters of American history, ancient history, right? And now there's a demographic problem. Now all of a sudden, all the recruiting you're doing and you're not getting the numbers, not because your college isn't favorable, it's because for the next 10 years, the demographics, there's just not that many kids.
Right.
And the irony I said is, so who told you guys that, like, why have you never thought of bringing in the trades into the college environment? Right? Because it's really rough. Like, if you go learn the trades, like, you get like a year or two in a community college, and then you go out and you work for somebody. And I've always been like, yeah, there's no reason why my plumber has not read Shakespeare. Like, so what? He's a plumber. He can still read Shakespeare. You know what I'm saying? He can still wrestle with Fanon. He can still have appreciated taking an art history course. He just likes to work with his hands. Doesn't want to sit in the office all day. Like, still going to make $100 million. I mean, $100,000 a year or plus. Still have a great lifestyle. But to me, there's nothing wrong, because to me, what the conservatives have done a great job of, because of what happened in the 60s, right? Because of the unrest in the 60s, and because so many societal changes came about that, they felt like colleges in America became a true intersection of ideas in people of all walks of life, and ideas intersected. And it was this perfect environment where your housing was taken care of, your food was taken care of, you could walk to everything that you need to do. You had entertainment because you had the sports right on campus, right? It was a walkable community. And for 4 years, all you were asked to do is wrestle with ideas in the classroom and then in the dorms with your fellow students in the cafeterias. And conservative policies have slowly stripped this community away. And when I look at the school I teach at Mason, so many of my students commute, and our administration is not even seriously wrestling with like how that's an academic crisis, because you commute for an hour and you're literally mentally exhausted before you sit down. So, man, like if you commute for an hour and 45 minutes and you're really 18, 19-year-old, and now I'm going to hand you Fernan and be like, wrestle with this. And then after you do my class, you may not have enough money to go to the cafeteria because you got to pay because you don't have a meal, quote unquote, meal plan. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're sitting in the commuter lounge. And I walk on, these kids just sitting like this. They're just trying to get some rest. And I'm like, how am I going to get them to wrestle with advanced ideas when they're physically exhausted? And the administration has never considered this a crisis. Oh, we're supposed to have a community of learners. You're supposed to be arguing with people at night. You know what I'm saying? You're going to the showers and you guys are arguing about what you learned today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, at all points, you go into the library, you're arguing. You know what I'm saying? Your professor might be hanging around a little later. You can argue.
Well, that was like...
They've taken that away.
Yeah, they took that away.
They've taken that away, and it's across the board. So now it's only at elite schools. But yeah, you go to Harvard, but you're still paying, like, you're still worried because you're like, man, I got to get the right job because when I graduate, I have to pay back these loans. But every community could find tax money to give to the next sports team that wants to build a stadium. They could give you that. They give you all the incentives that you want. They could find money for that, but they can't find money to fund students, say, for the next 25 years, next 30 years, no matter how big the school gets. Faculty don't get paid. We're going to have facilities, and students can go here and eat here for free. I mean, you have Republicans who don't think twice about little kids going to school hungry. Little kids. Not high schoolers, little kids, elementary school. Oh, well, their parents, and won't let their parents not decide, okay, I can't afford a kid. Well, you shouldn't have you can afford it. Okay, I'm deciding I can't have this kid. Oh, no, you can't do that. That's illegal too. It's to create a permanent slave class. It's to find a legal way, a quote unquote moral way. And that's what the Palantir guys want, right? They want a permanent class. They want to follow you. Oh, if you say something we don't like, we can now follow you digitally, and we're going to give you a social score. They look at China and they think that's the way we want to be, but with white faces. So it's really interesting. And what I'm fascinated by with our podcast is we talk about a time where students rose and went against the system, and you see that for this term, at least on the collegiate level, they've scared the shit out of the college students. Ironically, in Texas, those kids are doing walkouts. And then Greg Abbott said he's going to stop giving the schools some money. Man, like he says he's going to stop funding public schools because kids are walking out.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Well, it's well, I guess it's. I wish these guys would just come out and say, "I want a fiefdom," because here's the irony about Texas. And I asked my brother, who's a constitutional scholar, about this. So Greg Abbott complains that the federal government, he doesn't like the federal government telling Texas what to do, but the state of Texas loves to tell Dallas what to do. It loves to tell Houston what to do. You know what I'm saying? If they do something, if they want to celebrate Black History Month, the state of Texas will go down to those cities and be like, you can't do that. But if the federal government tells Texas, we want you to celebrate Black History Month, they claim, hey, man, you guys are imposing on us. You're trying to get king. The fact that people don't see that irony is what gets me. Like, you don't at least acknowledge that that's like, you just want to fiefdom. Just say you want to fiefdom.
Right.
Just acknowledge it. Acknowledge. You don't want anybody telling you what to do, but you want to tell people what to do. You want to tell people how to live their lives. And Texas that's why people talk about Texas. Look, Texas, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Texas. Okay, all you people fucking live in Texas. You live under a king. You're not free. Texas isn't free. Greg Abbott and the Republicans in Texas do what they want in Texas. They treat you the way they want to treat you. Your energy prices are high. You have no customer service because you have no support. You have no customer support. So every time you spend your dollar, you're rolling the dice. So this whole thing, everything is better. Fuck you, Texas. Not to say that I want to live in such a regulated state like California, but at least in California, there's some accountability. You know what I'm saying? If somebody builds a roof for me and the roof isn't any good, there are state regulators who will handle that for me. You know, there's a consumer protection that I can go to. You don't have that in Texas. Oh, well, you spent your money between you and this private entity. You know what I'm saying? So, and you would think they create such a so-called sports culture in a state like Texas, where the college people, that's all they think about. They just think about sports. Let's go to college, let's party, da da da. They're not wrestling with these ideas, and we're seeing across the country they're really trying to tamp down the energy that at least people at the college level have. And here's the irony, man. Like the protests are coming now from high school students. High school students across the country are the ones who are protesting ICE. High school students are the ones who are protesting the massacre and the genocide in Gaza. They're the ones who are concerned about Sudan. They're the ones who are concerned about this administration. They're the ones who are vocal, I should say, right? Because at least you're in a public school. What are you going to do? You're going to charge me and kick me out of my public school? But in college, they've made it so scary.
Right.
They're sending people out the country for just vocalizing their intellectual ideas. And we've, as colleges, the people that run our schools are now business people. They're not academics at all.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Lomax talked about that in the show.
Yeah, they're not academics at all. So we only see colleges as a business because Republican policies, and then in some successive Democratic administrations have supported those policies, have stripped away seeing our college population and the wide network of colleges at our schools as a important resource, as a foundational resource to the country. They don't want it to be a resource because they saw too many changes. And I heard that Reagan literally said that if people are educated, then you can't keep them as slaves. So notice it was in the Reagan era that they got rid of grant, that they started lowering the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant starts to get dismantled in the Reagan era because they realized that too many people were literally moving out of poverty simply by getting into college. You got into college and it completely transformed your life. And you didn't have to stay in that small town in West Virginia. If you decide to stay in that small town in West Virginia, You came back as a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer. You came back as a civil servant. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to go work in the coal mines. You know what I'm saying? You could literally transform your community because you went to college. And that is no longer the case. That's no longer the case because you're settled by what? Debt. And I think it's interesting that we have this podcast that explores one of the many stories in this very interesting time in American history that talks about how young people put it on the line to try to change something. And today's young people, it's not that they're not aware, but the state is coming on them so hard. And the financial incentives and pressures are so hard that everything is coming at them from all different angles that they're tired of sticking their necks out. Young people are tired of sticking their necks out for a bunch of older people who aren't sticking their necks out for anybody. So that's the irony to me is, I'm the one of the most diverse college campuses in the country. I would challenge somebody to find a more diverse, for the amount of students we have on campus, on our main campus on a daily basis, close to 20,000, 30,000 students on a daily basis, to find that diversity of languages and cultures and people from all over the world. And there is not a protest. And I'm 100% convinced it's because when you go on my campus, George Mason, all you see is these kids with huge book bags because they're carrying everything they need for the day. I barely carried a book bag when I was in college. I just grabbed my books and went to class. You know what I'm saying? When you go to like a Harvard or you go to a Dartmouth, I once did something at Dartmouth a couple of years ago. Those kids they're just running around their laptops. Because you're going from in between classes, you go to your dorm. You're like, oh, let me go brush my teeth. Oh, let me go change my shoes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. On my campus, kids aren't doing that. Let me change this. This sun is coming. Hold on a second. Put myself in there a little bit. Jeez, it's getting right in here. On my campus, kids aren't doing that because they're investing in the lots. They're investing in the parking garages for the kids, and nobody. The board of visitors, the president, the provost, nobody's looking out there and like, we got to change this. We have some of the smartest academics in the world. Let's bring these people together with a brain trust. Let's not get some outside consultants. Let's at least try to solve this problem internally. Let's come up with a solution, a smart, innovative way to build dorms so students can live on campus. Let's talk to our state. Let's talk to the federal government to find a way to fund this so that we're not passing it down to the students. And let's actually create a community of learners. Mm-hmm. Because, you walk on my campus, it's like high school. It's high school, bro. It's high school. It's not what I remember. And when I walk on some other campuses that are not so heavily commuter. And some people say, well, that's the identity of, no, that doesn't need to be. I don't care if the kid lives 10 minutes away. They should be living on campus. There is it changes who you are. First of all, it socializes you, which is super important. That's the critical point. You need to be socialized. You need the discomfort of not being at home, of having to take chances, of having to be around people, to see the way people live differently than you. You don't need to go to another country to realize that people live differently than you. Secondly, it's the opportunity for ideas to flow. It's 24/7. You're surrounded by ideas. So you can wrestle with these ideas. When you don't have to worry about where you're going to sleep, where you're going to eat, right, where you're going to exercise, you then can actually take on these ideas and wrestle with them. That's why some of the when somebody ends up going to grad school, a lot of the ideas that started them, that they end up, they write their thesis and started in the undergrad. They took a course in their junior, took a course in their senior, and they start wrestling with those ideas, and it pushed them. Okay, when I get my master's, when I get my doctorate, they're constantly, even if it's in the sciences, it's a lot of the big innovation happens with undergrad students coming with different ideas. And then, okay, they're gonna do a master's, they're gonna do a doctorate, they're gonna get into a doctoral program and continue whatever innovation they're doing. But we're not providing the space to do that. We're only providing it in elite institutions. And that didn't used to be the case. These ideas were spread across the country. I hate the idea that Columbia, that Harvard had all this. Like, what do they need this money from the federal government? Why aren't you spreading these things across the country? There's no reason there's a concentration of really smart scientists at Harvard. You want this money? You want this grant from the federal government? I need you to go to podunk such and such place and push that innovation across the country. What made us great was we spread the intellectual load across our colleges and universities across the country. It wasn't concentrated at elite schools. And it makes no sense now that we're doing that now.
Right.
So to me, like all this Trump stuff, and this is the problem with the Democrats, and this is why there's certain personalities who I don't like the way they're going about it, but the idea is correct that the two-party system isn't really a two-party system; it's just a one-party system. And I think that we have to be willing to lose elections to get the wrong people out, and either a new party or whatever we got to do to push these changes. Like if you want this to, it's never going to be the empire that was, but if you want something, we have to change things radically, because it's not just getting rid of Trump. It's not just getting rid of ICE. There are policies that have been happening for the last 40 years that have to be reversed. They have to be reversed. That's it.
It's weird times, man.
Is it weird though? I mean,
yeah, it's weird. The internet makes it weird, man. The internet.
Internet puts things in your face. I mean, bullshit. Obviously, the internet. Look, the scroll culture. There's certain things about the internet that has completely changed the brain chemistry of younger generations. You can't argue that at all. You can't.
Yeah.
But man, like when you deeply study this country, shit has always been weird.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's always been volatile. Do you know that Prescott Bush's father, so George Bush's great-grandfather, George Bush's great-grandfather, he was this close from enacting a presidential coup, like in the 1930s?
No.
I think it was against Eisenhower or something. They tried to overthrow the president, and they got there was this popular military general that they thought they had on their side. And on the day they were going to take over the White House, the general told the president, and man, like they didn't go to jail because they were the people who were trying to do the coup were all like bankers, people in the Fed. There were all these guys who owned like the railroads. It was like the business guys. So it's not for the first time in this country that a sort of business class or financial class has been disgusted with the way the democracy works, that they've been disgusted with the idea that other people can shape the government in any way, shape, or form. Like they want absolute control. It's not the first time. It's not the first time they're rounding people up and tossing them somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's always happened in this country. You know what I mean? Like that really has always happened. I think what's interesting is with technology, literally the second it's happening, everybody knows. So it feels immediate in a different way. But there's always been domestic terrorism in this country. You know, the Ku Klux Klan in the South. If you really study the history of like certain immigrant communities, the Chinese community was persecuted, the Japanese community was persecuted. If you came from Korea, yeah, I mean, and not just in those camps, but just truly persecuted. Like every new immigrant that came to this country, which is the irony of like people of Polish descent, Russian descent, Eastern European descent, Irish descent, being on the side of the colonizer, because they were 100% persecuted. People wanted, we're native, you got to go. Even though you weren't really native, you're 2 or 3 generations removed from also being from another country. So the same ideas have been percolating in this country over and over again. We just have a better record. You know, it's not in an old newspaper. It's, you know, it's on Instagram and TikTok. So it's strange, but the history of this country is it's always been strange. It's the period when it's not strange are the anomalies, actually. That's the irony.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no doubt about that. Well,
so I wouldn't give a fuck if I didn't have kids. I'll tell you that right now. I'd just be like, oh, well, fuck it, fuckers. But I have kids, so I have to care because I got to leave them something.
How benevolent. The middle class,
why you care.
The burden of the middle class.
That's why you care. That's why you care.
I care because I'm a citizen. Okay.
No, you don't. If you didn't have a kid, you would give. You're such a cynic.
I love how
you're a cynic.
I'm that cynical.
Yes, you're definitely that cynical when you didn't have a kid. You didn't give a fuck. You're like, fuck humanity. They deserve to die. That was your attitude.
Yeah, that might be true. Yeah,
but you have a kid now, so now you're a humanitarian. Fuck out of here.
I told you that. Half of COVID, I was like just sitting on my porch watching the apocalypse. Like, I told you, niggas.
You relished it. Like, you were like, call the herd. Call the herd. Meanwhile, you were sitting in your compound, scared of catching COVID. You know what I did during COVID? I was living. Unlike the rest of you niggas.
I was afraid to die. I welcomed it.
I was outside. You were fucking afraid. You got the fucking vaccine as soon as it was available.
Yeah, but I got the vaccine because I'm a father. Okay, that's why.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Well,
why. To stay alive.
Yeah.
For my son. You see? Well, you think
you're telling on yourself, nigga. You're telling on yourself.
Because I trust the government.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No. That's not what I'm saying. No. I'm saying that your whole raison d'etre is you want to stay alive for your son. If not, you'd watch it burn. You wouldn't give a fuck. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, whatever. Well, look, man. Very, very proud of the work that we've done in this podcast. It's very
the A building. Our podcast, the A building.
I'll put a link to it in the pad data. It's important that if you listen to the show, please give us a rating. That really helps with the
5 stars.
5 stars. That all goes a long way. If you're on social media, tell your friends. This is going to be a real grassroots effort. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the film Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, but
my gosh, got this. Jesus Christ! Last week.
Melvin Van Peebles, when that film dropped, the MPAA gave it an X rating, which was the death nail for films at that time. Instead,
the opening scene had a 12-year-old kid actually performing a physical sex act on an older woman. So it wasn't a persecution.
Look, I didn't.
Yeah, but you kind of said it like, oh yeah, they're going against him. No. He had child porn in the opening 3 minutes of the fucking movie.
You're saying it wasn't like a conspiracy?
Yeah, it wasn't a conspiracy. They were dead on. They were right.
You're saying the X rating was appropriate?
Here's the irony, and I'm going to let you finish once I say this. The irony is that film is only screened at film schools. You shouldn't try to watch that movie. Don't watch Sweetback. Think, I'm going to see this interesting movie. It's really for film schools. Because I don't know what the fuck Melvin was thinking.
That's been my point for the last 25 years, arguing about this fucking movie.
But it's also revolutionary. Like, you can't.
I don't deny that. I've never denied that. That's why I'm telling the story about the T-shirt, nigga. Like, he put.
Yeah, but you don't like the movie. You don't like the movie. You think it stinks.
It's not a good movie. Like Hans, do you like the scene in Sweetback where with the biker gang and he challenges them to a duel and instead they're like, well, why don't you fuck our baddest broad? And he's like, okay, fine. And he has sex with this white woman in front of all these bikers. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're cool.
You are it.
Yeah, like you're the one.
But man, like if you know biker gangs, that's the way they treat women.
Yeah, Hans. Yeah,
it's a commentary.
Like, oh, is it, man? Get the fuck out of here. Listen. Badass by Mario Van Peebles, 2003.
Oh my gosh! Enough with the fucking Badass.
I love that film because you can watch Badass. It's a very good movie, and you get the history of Sweetback without having to watch Sweetback. There, I said it. Okay. So I'm not saying it's not important, but every time, and I remember this was like I think our first real snobbish art. This is why this nigga's gonna be my friend for a long time. This is my first real argument with Hans about a movie we both had strong opinions about. Because I forget the topic came up about Sweetback and how I think we had a presentation about it.
We had a presentation. We had a presentation.
Oh yeah, it was in. We were doing Badass from Bonnie.
No, not Bonnie. In Merritt, Dr. Merritt.
Merritt. Yeah, we had to do Badass for Dr. Merritt, and then so we were just watching Sweetback for reference. I hadn't seen Sweetback in forever, and me and Hans were in my shitty apartment, and I was like, God, this movie stinks. And he was like, what? He was like, oh, this movie changed the game, the revolution, and the editing, and and I was like, yeah, Hans, this bullshit. Like this was kind of all put together, piecemeal. This was a gimmick movie. He knew listen, Melvin was a master hype man, and he got that. If you look at Watermelon Man and the Story of a 3 Day Pass, that's a guy that actually knows how to make a movie.
Yeah, but that's why the movie is good, man. Like because it's not because when you talk about it as if it got ahead of him. The skills he didn't have the skills to put together. No, clearly,
I think the scope of it got ahead of him.
Oh my gosh, Jesus Christ! But then Watermelon, because the Watermelon Man comes first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Yeah, so it didn't get ahead of him. Then, like it's
backwards.
No, it's a step
Because
backwards.
The Watermelon Man had a real budget. It was an actual studio picture and real. The lighting aperture works, and you can actually see. You can see the frames, and
some dark scenes in that movie. Some dark scenes.
Because they shot it on the fly. They shot it on the fly. Because they didn't have a budget or a crew. He had to pretend it was a porno, right? Like all these stories that have become legend with you Howard niggas, when it's like, well, was that all deliberate? I feel like we're giving credit to things that may not have been deliberate. You see what I'm saying? Like that's all. That's all.
Man, like if you did one Angry and then your next movie you had less money, you had $10,000. If once the finished product, I would have to trust that however it comes out, it came out that way because you made certain decisions. It wasn't because it got ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I didn't have the big budget, but I couldn't do. No, it's because you were like, I'm going to make deliberate decisions. And I think that's the problem of the way you view the film. It's a deconstruction. It's a deconstruction of the American film. And you've never accepted that. I remember saying that in class. I was like, look, it's deconstructed. And Merritt was like, point for Hans. Like, I got you. Because she had never really, she was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting point. I was like, look, man, you can't say this guy didn't know what he's doing because he made other movies before. And we love those movies.
There were examples, yeah. Story of a 3 Day Pass, which probably had no money. Like, that was probably even less money than Sweetback. And obviously Watermelon Man was probably $2-3 million in the 70s. It was a lot of money. But
it's almost a snobbish deconstruction of the expectation of what a black filmmaker is supposed to make. It's an almost snobbish thing.
Well,
and he's in your face about the expectations at that time period. Because we were supposed to be we were supposed to be Lord, give us our free.
I remember when I saw that in college, Bill Grant's class. Because Bill Grant did a very smart thing. He did what Garima did when he showed us Hour in the Furnaces. he just put it on, like
Put it
no
on
context,
with no context.
You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, a young Mary Van Peebles is having sex with a grown woman, and then there's another scene, the biker scene, and all this crazy shit. The movie's psychedelic as hell. Then the score, you Blake, my mama. And I'm like, what?
The score is
what's going on? Right? The movie ends, and I told my mom, I was like, because I'm expecting her to agree with me. This was trash, and this is this. And I was like, have you seen Sweet Tweetback? She was, oh, hell yeah. We went to go see it in college. Like, everybody saw it. It was a good time. We were throwing popcorn at the screen and shit. And I was like, what? No, it sucks. I want to be like, you did. I want to be like, you didn't have a good time. Like, and I was like, and then everything, what's funny is everything Bill said and how it hit, my snobbish mother confirmed. Like, yeah, we went to see it in college and we had a great time. And everything that you saw and how people responded to it in Badass, that's what my mother described as the event. It was an event for the blackity blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like the niggas that had enough, that were tired of the bullshit, that were tired of the man. They were tired of them. And think about black, like 60s representation and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and all this.
All that buttoned up.
They were done with that. And here you had Melvin Van Peebles, you know, he kills 2 cops and he gets away with it. The hardest line in Sweetback is when he killed the cops to save the kid. And the kid's like, where are we going, Sweetback? And he's like, where'd you get this wee shit?
Yeah, I did my part for you, motherfucker. I saved you. Now I gotta get away.
Yeah, like you're on your own, kid.
The movie exposes the deprivation of America.
Yeah.
And it does it with black characters.
That it does.
And we had never had that visual control. You know what I'm saying?
It does make you grimace.
It was the underbelly of the ugliness of America. That's why that opening scene is so shocking.
Yeah.
Because it's something that happens. That kind of pedophilia, that kind of incest is a real thing. Right? Yeah. Look what we're wrestling now with the Epstein files, right? Like you know, this is the real thing in America, that ugliness with the bikers.
Start the movie that way, you know what I mean?
Man, like the raw, almost what do you call those? Barbaric nature of the biker gang. We're gonna kill you. Oh, you know what? You can fuck our lady as a contest. That's a barbaric thing, right? But it's an exposure of that subculture. The bikers are barbaric. They're not rebels, you know. They're barbaric.
Yeah, that's a good
You know what I'm saying? The killing of a cop. Those cops are going to try to kill a kid. You know what I'm saying? That's barbaric.
They were beating that kid up. They were going to beat him to death.
Yeah. It's barbaric. And so it just exposes, and then that song just links it to the past of slavery. That's the opening of the barbarism. So it's raw, it's dirty, it's ugly, but that's our society. That's what I saw in it. And I saw a person who was constructing that. Who used the fact that he didn't have the money to do it. He's like, you know what? I'll lean into it even more. Because if I had the money, I would make it too nice and it'd be too pretty. And this allows me to lean into it more. And you know what? Your snobbery, your writer-director, what do you call auteurness, your auteurness sensibility couldn't fucking take it. You wanted a pretty image. You wanted let's do another take.
Hans, I love filmmakers like Robert Rodriguez and John Woo and the aesthetic.
Yeah, but they still make pretty bougie image.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but those are bougie. That's such a bougie intellectual.
El Mariachi's bougie, nigga. Like, come on.
Yeah, man. El Mariachi. Who loved El Mariachi more than the bourgeois class? You know, like,
that is true. Yes.
Nobody loved it more. He just loved it.
Inspired a whole generation.
An entire generation.
What's funny is how that's a good point. The filmmakers that loved El Mariachi, they didn't make movies like that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't make movies like that. But they loved it. They're like, oh my gosh.
We didn't actually want Rodriguez's career.
Yeah. We didn't want the start of it. We didn't want this guy giving blood to to make his next shot.
Can I get the
We just
3-picture
love the
deal?
idea of the grittiness. Yeah, it's a great story at Hollywood parties. You know what I'm saying? And even when she gotta have it. I mean, Spike is a bourgeois filmmaker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Spike's grandmother put him through college. And he was like, I want to be a filmmaker. She's like, okay. And then she paid for his first thesis film.
It was grandma's parents were like, no. His parents said, go fuck yourself. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's bourgeois, bro. That's bourgeois.
Like film. Like, what the hell is that?
Man, like no, it wasn't because they said no. His dad was an artist. They didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah, it was about the money.
You already know what that lifestyle was like.
Yeah, that's what,
you know what I'm saying?
About his dad.
Yeah, the grandmother was she went to work. She had a 9 to 5, and she had savings. She had a shitload of savings.
Crooklyn was about, you know,
exactly.
How
the
much
starving artist
that was, how much of a struggle that was.
So his Spider's career, like we love these independent giants, but his shit was started like somebody handed him a check. That was his grandmother. Like it wasn't like, it wasn't his rich daddy, and it wasn't his rich grandmother, but it was his very middle class grandmother.
And she had a few dollars.
She had extra dollars. And to his credit, he took it, he ran with it, he multiplied it, he took care of his siblings, made sure his siblings always had a job.
He did not dishonor his family.
He did not dishonor his family.
Mike is a family man.
Yeah, he did not dishonor his family. His sister had an acting career because of him. His brother had a photography career because of him. He took care of his siblings. But, nigga, come on.
Yeah, but listen, man, I understand what you're saying, and my critique of Sweetback has just always been about the filmmaking. You see, everything you're saying from like kind of a social political context, I agree with. And that's why I say, just watch Badass. Right? I just think, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what.
Yeah, but you can't, if you say that, then you're contradicting everything that you're saying you agree with. You are. But like, I think, and this is the main focus where we disagree. I think the filmmaking is the point.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Yeah,
I know, but I feel like you don't have a leg to stand on. I'm the technician. I feel like I can. No, yeah, I'm the technician. I understand that better than you.
I'm also a fucking film historian, and I understand filmmaking. Like I'm not a moron. Like you.
No, I'm not saying you're a moron.
That works on the hacks you deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a work on that. Like, I'm very secure. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking to some fucking photojournalist, well, actually, here's the right, and then okay, whatever you say, Hans. And I'm like, no. The first time, let me tell you a story. The first time I told Hans how we were going to shoot a scene, he looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, oh, this is not a conversation he's been having with directors. He looked at me like, oh yeah, you're gonna be one of those directors, huh?
Man, look, I can't tell you how many times when I was on the TV show and I'm embarrassed to admit this, and people would say, I'm gonna do, and I just, I'd be like, okay, and I still turn my back, just rolling my eyes. Okay.
Yeah. Think it's gonna work out, huh?
Think you're doing something. 2 thumbs up to you. We'll see you at the back end of our 14-hour day. And Malik, I always predicted it like it was clockwork.
Like clockwork. Yeah, you were always
this
right.
Shit that we're doing, not going to end up in the cut. They're going to make you cut it. But okay, you can do it. Go ahead. Well, you can do it.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
In the WGA, they're trying to change the rules so those directors can get those cuts. They're trying to change it because right now they don't have the power.
Oh, I see.
So if they shoot something, they can't even get the footage to cut it the way they would want to. Because I knew a director he wanted to be a studio director. He wanted to shoot movies. So he'd shoot these elaborate shots before the dialogue. Mm-hmm. And I used to be like, I just laugh. And I'm like, yeah, man, they're going to cut all that. You know what they're going to do? Aerial, dialogue. It's going to be the aerial shots and then dialogue. All that beautiful shit you're doing. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. It's a great way to enter the scene. Never going to happen.
Yeah,
nobody's ever going to see it. It's like, dude, save it. That's a great idea. Write it down. for when you get your feature because you're frustrating yourself. That's all that happens. People get so mad because we weren't built for that. Like you're like we're built for efficiency, and and we all know that we're doing this elaborate shot. And like everybody on set, no, this is not going to make the cut. We watched the TV show. We'd watch it. We'd watch it to see what made it, what didn't, and it would amaze me that directors never. And I'd be like, yeah, it's not going to make it. They're going to make you cut that. Just so you know, they're gonna pat you on the back. That was a great shot. They're gonna pat you on the back, and as soon as you get to the edit, can you cut? You gotta cut the 10 minutes out. So, and what are they gonna make you cut? All the shit when people aren't talking.
That's wild. Yeah.
So I'd roll my eyes. So yes, I resist directors telling me, and it was the way you said it. It wasn't that. It wasn't that you
like I was the boss. Yeah, that's how I said it. I'm talking about the interrogation scene. I told you how I wanted it lit. I told you the kind of lens I wanted. I told you the frame I wanted to use, and you looked at me.
You didn't tell me how you wanted it lit. No, you didn't.
I did. No. I told you exactly how I wanted it lit. I told you how I wanted Miguel to come out of the darkness and into the light. I did. Yeah, that scene is mine. I didn't do with that scene. That's mine.
No, I didn't look at you crazy.
You did.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I didn't look at you crazy for that scene. I looked at you crazy. It was when we were in the classroom because you said something, and I was like, obviously, that's the way we're gonna shoot it. Like it was such a stupid fucking direction. We're gonna do it. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. There is no other choice. Like that's what I was looking at you like. Do you think you said something just now? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like obvious the way it needs to be shot. You didn't even need to communicate it. So that's why I was looking at you like you're fucking nuts. Oh, you think you just did something? Like you discovered something?
Yeah,
fucker?
you look at me like so again. You think this is helping your story?
No, like
you looked at me like I was crazy.
Half of your shit, even the interrogation scene. Even the interrogation scene, and I was like, oh man, I think he's like surprising me with something. He said, come out the dark. And he's like, and it's like, yeah, like there's an overhead light. Like that's easy. Like I don't need to know that, fucker. I don't need to know that. You tell the actor what to do. You're giving me way more information than I need.
No,
like I don't know. No, you need it. No, you need a jerk off. You need the here's my vision. Here's my vision. Fuck you and your vision.
If it's not in my frame, we're gonna have a problem. You say my frame. And you used to get mad. When you get mad at the term my frame.
Your frame. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, you just and I'm glad you went through that experience because you're watching too much like DVD behind the scenes of auteurs.
Oh yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, it was just too much. You saw some of the guys going like this, and you're like, well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
no. What happened is that you had been working with filmmakers who couldn't articulate their vision the way that I could. That's all. You can admit that.
There was at no point that your vision ever surprised me. Like once we got into a room and once you did the blocking, what you were going to see was so obvious you didn't. And here's the irony. They got to a point where you stopped saying it. You didn't have to say it anymore.
That is true. Yeah, that's true.
You didn't have to say it. I got it. So that's why I was looking at you crazy. Like, nigga, you don't need to tell me this. I can see it.
Okay.
So that's what gets me annoyed with directors. It's like there's a process they don't trust. Right? To me, it's fascinating.
No, that's
yes. When you get the costume design, just listen, hear me out. Once you get the costume design, you get the production design. Between that, the script, the conversation that you and the actors will have, and the blocking, the direction that you want becomes clear. If anybody's basically in tune with the process, you're already speaking. You already told me what you want. You see what I'm saying? And if I'm paying attention, I kind of know. Now, I still want to make sure I have a sense, But when you say it as if it's like a mystery and you're putting it out into the universe, yeah, I'm going to look at you fucking sideways because I'm not fucking stupid. Clearly, I know the same references you know. See, that's the part you didn't get. Yeah, nigga, I know your references. You're not introducing something to me. Yeah, I know the movie you're referencing with this shot. I get it.
Hans, the next film, there are going to be a couple of ground rules. Okay.
There's your first mistake. There's your first mistake. See, you're already off on the wrong foot.
There are going to be a couple ground rules in the next film. First of all, like there's nobody touches anything till I'm on the set. Like nobody does anything till I get a chance to just get in there and breathe the air. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to be able to kind of feel the tapestry. This is real Terrence Malick shit. You know what I'm saying?
No. You know who understands this method, but they also understand production.
Okay, this ought to be good.
Spike Lee shows up before everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna do.
No. Then that has nothing to do with me. If my call is 6 a.m. and you show up at 3, I don't give a fuck. Do what you want, you know. Roll around in the set, nigga. I don't give a fuck. But when 6 a.m. comes, by 6:15, have your actors on there. Let's do the blocking, okay? Let's keep it up.
The next,
I gotta wait for you to smell it. Go fuck yourself.
The next one. This is gonna be like our little good luck charm. The next 3 movies, okay? The very first shot, the very first thing that we shoot, I have to operate. Okay, that's not
never gonna
happen. Debate. That's not
never.
I feel like it's hilarious. You think you can stop me from operating on my shit? Like that's
you can operate. You can operate. We're not gonna record shit. You can operate all the fuck you want.
This is the power that Hans has had. Like, you want to talk about like dictatorship? You see what I'm saying? You want to talk about theocracy? It's what niggas like Hans have done to production.
Men are like, here's how much respect I have for directors. I can clearly see in the blocking that there's going to be a problem for the shot that they want. I will be inefficient and still insist that I suggested, hey, so the thing that you want, if you have them do this, this is going to happen. I won't even talk to the actors and be like, hey, when you land here, just land 2 feet to the left, because I have so much respect for whatever the conversation was between the two of them, that even though it affects what I have to do, I still go through the director because that's their purview. Okay? That's their purview. Not like the camera is my purview. Where you want the camera, where it needs to be pointed, is your purview. Okay? So I will point it wherever you tell me to point it, but keep your fucking grubby hands off of it. Okay? I don't sit in your chair. You don't sit in my chair. Okay, that's the rule. Those are all the true rules that we need. You sit in your chair. I sit in my chair.
Let me give you some names here. Okay, just know if you're familiar with these names. So a couple of them we've already discussed. Melvin Van Peebles, Robert Rodriguez, Jim Cameron, Ridley Scott.
Luke Besson.
Hold on.
Here's the difference.
Steven Soderbergh. All these guys operate the camera, nigga.
Here's the part that you don't want to accept. They're all cinematographers, Menelik.
No, they're directors.
Listen to me. No, you're not listening to me. No. They're directors. They've all been directors. But they actually all know how. If you gave them a job as a cinematographer, they could do it better than half the cinematographers out there.
100%.
Robert Rodriguez can shoot. He doesn't need a DP to shoot. That he shot El Mariachi.
Yeah. Steven
Soderbergh is a proper DP.
Yeah, if
he could completely have a career as a DP if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Cameron is another one. Cameron knows more camera shit than half the DPs out there, easily.
Yeah, especially thinking about like the range, like his knowledge of the technology, like in
the technology. You can't beat Cameron in what he knows.
I think I told her story on the first Avatar. He operated like 90% of it, right? And it was in the middle of the second film. He was like, "Why am I still doing this?" It was like
well, half of it, he enjoys it.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of it. Yeah,
he genuinely enjoys being on the camera. Those guys are certified.
A movie of that scale. And that on all the responsibilities he's thinking of, and that motherfucker's in there. You know what I'm saying?
It's like not.
You'll see
to me, it's
Titanic,
not.
and he's in the water tank with the camera.
Yeah, but it's not because it's an efficient. When you have that big of a scale, it's an efficiency.
Yeah, it's actually just faster. Yeah, you're cutting out.
It's just faster.
Yeah,
you're cutting out a step. That's why when people get egos about it, they get mad. Well, I'm gonna. Yeah, so I have to explain it to you, and then you don't even really understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just quicker for me to do it.
Yeah.
Now I'm in it and I can't do it. That's different.
That's
different, right.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
So now it's a communication problem. But if like I said, it'd be so curious to watch James Cameron shoot a movie for somebody, like just purely as a DP, because he can absolutely do it. You know what I'm saying? He can absolutely shoot.
If he really just said, I'm going to shoot like a $10 million movie. You know what I mean? Like
he could literally sit in a DP chair and just do it. It wouldn't even be think twice about it. He's that good at it, right? So to me, like I'm not gonna tell a guy who knows just as much or more than me you can't do something. You, on the other hand, you don't even know where the lunch is. Like, how the fuck am I have you fucking break the camera by mistake?
I knew where the lunch was, jackass. I didn't know if I could eat it.
You know. Yeah, well. If you think the second one is better, then that tells me that's more reason why I can't let you near my camera.
My camera.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know why you have camera envy. I don't have
the top of the slate. Okay,
I don't have I don't have director envy. Why do you have cinematographer envy? Why do you have operator envy? You have an envy. You need to explore that.
Not envy. It's literally like in this process,
listen,
the tapestry. I respect the departments. I respect the rules of engagement.
You don't.
But I got.
You had a chance.
I got to get my.
You had a chance to be a cameraman in our Cine 1 class.
I did.
And you blew it.
Yeah, I did not.
You blew it. You blew off that. You blew off that test. You decided that you weren't interested. So you can't come back now, years later, talking about. I want to wrestle the camera. No, go fuck yourself. Sit in your director's chair. Just sit in your Don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. I want to hear it.
Well,
I mean, there are movies where I have to tiptoe around operating. Okay, I have to tiptoe around that because there's not strict union rules. But boy, you want to piss off, especially if you're going like out of LA and different places. You want to piss some people off. Be a DP that hogs that camera. Ooh. Oh, people be so mad.
No, they get pissy about that, right?
Oh, they get so pissy.
Senate Republican Tim Scott slammed the video, says the most racist thing I've ever seen. Fucking Tim Scott. The White House
Scott, didn't he call Trump daddy once?
He sure
Daddy's
did.
Home? Daddy did something racist, Tim?
The White House is calling it fake outrage, of course. Wouldn't be my approach.
You know why? You know why they call it fake outrage? Because they're like, Tim, all the nigger jokes we've done in the White House, you laugh the loudest.
Yeah, imagine what they say behind closed doors. Yeah. Well, listen, folks. The A Building is now available on iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Please give us a rating, 5 stars. Tell your friends. Put it on social media. We have been rated X by an all-white jury.
Man, like nobody understands that reference.
I can't. That's the Sweetback reference. We've been talking about the
but nobody gets it. Like they didn't know that happened.
Fans of our podcast get it. Thinking whatever. I gotta go. Like I gotta. This application for this thing is like filling out a fucking mortgage. So the Danica got back to you with the budget stuff. I don't know if you saw that. You're frozen.
Yeah, I'm back.
There you go. Did you hear me?
Yeah, you said fans of our podcast. Get it?
Yeah, and I said I gotta go. I gotta do this. The application for this Tribeca thing is like filling out a mortgage.
Okay. You gotta finish it. I sent Danica the numbers yesterday. Did she tell you?
Yeah, she replied with new numbers.
Oh, I didn't see the reply.
It's in the email.
Oh, okay.
She just sent it just now.
Okay.
So you can, of course, you can email us. Excuse me. Fucking hell. You can email us at backofthetheater@gmail.com. And please share the word. The podcast algorithm is all about interaction and response. So let people know. I will put the link in the pad data of this episode. Thank you for your support as always. Hans, anything else?
Peace. Download the first 2 episodes and give us a 5-star rating.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we dropped 2 episodes today, and there will be 6 more coming out in the next 6 weeks. All right. We'll holler at y'all in the recording.